Yeah, lovely music. Yes, it was very romantic. Yeah. Now, I've been lucky to be getting on this segment because I've been edging my way in slowly with my big pointy elbows. We are on to the second month of our wine series now, and we are moving on from white to red with a masterclass on Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yes, Cab Sauv. As ever, our resident wine expert, David Whelehan, is here to teach us all we need to know. Right, David, give us the basics. Cabernet Sauvignon.
Cabernet Sauvignon, one of the world's great red grapes. Its home is Bordeaux. Interestingly, it's quite a young grape, so it only came into being in the middle 18th century. And only in 1997 did they find that the parents of Cabernet Sauvignon are Cabernet Franc from the Loire Valley and Sauvignon Blanc from the Loire Valley. And they came together in the Gironde in Bordeaux, and they created this wonderful red grape. And actually, interesting, although this is a blueberry, if you went into a vineyard, that is pretty much what a Cabernet Sauvignon grape would look like. It's very small, it's got a thick black skin, and by virtue of that, it's quite firm and tannic in the mouth. And we'll discuss that when we're actually trying the wines. But just to get a sense of the flavour profiles of the Cabernet Sauvignon grape, you should classically be looking for black fruits, plummy characters, and ideally a little bit of blackcurrant or cassis, as the French would like to call it.
In general, David, is a Cabernet Sauvignon a wine to have on its own with a quick glass of wine, or does it always need to be with food?
Definitely if it's coming from Bordeaux with food, and even from the New World, from South America, ideally with food as well, because it is quite a firm tannic structure, which is kind of like a gripping character of the wine on the palate. And just say, with food, that all dissipates. And say with the lamb shank that, it's being slaved away over here in the kitchen at the moment.
It would be perfect,
It would be absolutely ideal, because all the fats of the lamb will melt with the tannins of the Cabernet grape, and it'll be absolutely delicious.
Oh, David, I'm only lucky that I think I'm only standing in because Simon's cooking today. I never get the wine slots.
It's my
favourite thing, because I actually did a wine course years ago.
Give us the characteristics.
Great fun.
David.
So classically, if somebody stopped you in the street, Cabernet Sauvignon was always dark in colour. So the first you look for is depth of colour. On the nose, you'd be looking for some kind of black fruit character. If it's coming from Bordeaux, you're going to get a cedar cigar box kind of character.
Cigar box
character.
Be the judge of
there
that.
You are. And then also on the palate, you'll find it's got quite high acidity, so you'll find your saliva glands will start generating saliva. And then you'll also find this drying effect from the tannins on the side of your gums. And I say, this is going to be tough. Pauillac is tough by its nature, but Pauillac is the most famous appellation in Bordeaux for the Cabernet grape.
So we'll get that nice dark fruit colour.
Dark fruit colour. You swirl it in your glass.
I know what it means.
And you get that lovely kind of cedary cigar box, black fruit character there. And this is actually quite interesting. Pauillac is, I say, the most famous appellation in the left bank of Bordeaux. This is actually made by the most famous chateau in Bordeaux called Chateau Latour. They don't say it on the label, but it's actually made by Chateau Latour.
It is beautiful.
Simon, you would like this.
But you see how you see.
It is quite pungent on the palate. It's quite strong. But I did a wine course. Sorry, I was telling you that, and it was down in Lynch-Bages in France. I learned so much, but I've forgotten so much. So it's interesting for you to go through everything again. It's all about refreshing your memories.
Absolutely, and of course, Lynch-Bages is actually in the appellation of Pauillac as well. So it's one of the most famous Pauillac estates. It's a fifth growth.
Oh, it is down that region.
This is a classic.
It's actually in Pauillac itself.
This is a classic Cabernet Sauvignon. Palate-wise,
this is a definitive Cabernet Sauvignon from Bordeaux, and the most famous, say, Bordeaux or Cabernet will come from the appellation of Pauillac. So quite firm, quite grippy on the tannins, quite high acidity, and you'll see that it definitely needs food.
Okay.
If you
and the nose, just to remind it, is dark fruits and cigar box.
Cedar and cigar box.
But you can smell it, because when
but
I was learning
it's from the oak, isn't it?
It's from the oak influence and whatever. So here's now a South American version.
It's not. David's not.
No.
He's not mad.
I can't defend myself on that.
So where are we going now?
We're now going to Mendoza. In Argentina.
It's totally different.
And because it's a lot warmer there, you can get some kind of jammy characters as well, so black fruit characters, but it's really quite enticing. But it's, once again, you find firm tannins, but it's rich and powerful, and it's firm on the palate.
I see what you mean by jam. There's a different sort of aroma there.
It's much sweeter. For me, that's a lighter wine.
And interestingly, the alcohol of that is actually higher. But the fruit is sweeter, and that's why it's kind of seducing you here. And this won the top Sommelier's award for food and wine matching, so it was very highly rated.
I was just going to say that would be absolutely something you could have with many different courses. It would be an all-rounder, really.
Very versatile, and that's why Cabernet is quite interesting. And then
that's because of the extra sun. on the fruit.
The sun beating down on the grapes. They're getting a little bit riper, and they're expressing those sort of riper fruit characters.
David, what about the ages of the wine? I mean, does that make a difference when you're talking about?
It does. I mean, Cabernet Sauvignon can age quite considerably because, as I say, it's got great structure, it's got high acidity, it's got firm tannins and good depth of colour. And if the fruit is anyway ripe, good Cabernet can age anything from 10 to 25, 30 years.
Okay.
Like the wine here that we're about to pour here. This wine could happily age for another 25 years. So this is coming from Coonawarra. So in Australia, if you want to go for the most famous place for Cabernet Sauvignon, you either go to Margaret River or you go to Coonawarra in South Australia.
Okay.
Is this going to be like the South American one? Because I presume sunshine is a big factor here.
It's going to be riper, but you're going to find lovely tannins and lovely concentration.
Just explain what tannins are, by the way.
Tannins are basically natural occurring compounds in the actual grape skin itself, and they give kind of a slight bitterness and a slight dryness on the palate. But it actually allows the fruit evolve over a period of time, and allows the wine to become more complex. Also, when you're having it with food, they melt away and this give a little bit more sort of palate feel and structure.
What are we smelling here? Because there's many different things. This is
here you're kind of getting eucalypt and menthol and black fruits.
Less of the fruits, isn't there?
Less of the fruits, and you get this kind of, which is very Australian style, but this is very highly rated.
David, consider ourselves educated on Cabernet Sauvignon. Cigar box.
Thank you very much.
I think a cigar box.
And eucalyptus.
And that's a good thing.
This is definitely the lightest one.
Nice stuff, David.
Thanks,
Good,
David.
thank you very much. You're very welcome.